Hi everybody, Glenn Hausman here for heretostay.tv, powered by Bridge Street at the Service Apartment Summit Americas here in amazing New York City. And I'm with Chris Ahearn, he's the CEO of Oakwood. And one of the things that I'm hearing a lot about at this conference are trends, but is it really about trends or is it more about diversification at this point of your product line?
So that's a good question. I think that people are chasing the trends. And I think what the trends are doing is they're opening up different avenues for products.
Right.
And so you have a diversification of offerings out there. And so I think for us, we're constantly looking at that as well and saying, what should the Oakwood brand represent? So when someone stays or looks at the Oakwood brand, what are they going to get? And so as we look at our products across Asia, we've diversified across many products with our brand, and we're beginning to do that elsewhere around the world.
So how does that practically play out? I know in the traditional hotel industry, they have a lot of brands with a lot of different names and they try to all capture them. What is your approach in order to make sure that people know that you don't just have a one-size-fits-all product, but you're creating more meaningful products for different types of people?
So it always starts with what is the population of guests or travelers that we're looking to capture in a particular location.
Right.
So depending on where you are within a city or within a country, you're going to get a different type of guest. And therefore, we're trying to build our brand or our product. So if you think about diversifying products, we call it a product versus a brand. So you have the Oakwood brand and the underlying diversification of products. So, we launched the Studio brand. And then we've always had the Premier brand on the high end that grows. So in a city, we can cater to different types of travelers with a different type of product, all under the Oakwood brand.
That's interesting because you're looking at it in an interesting way in the sense that, we have these kinds of business drivers in a particular neighborhood or in a particular city, and then offering products that match those companies that are there. So you don't want to put in a luxury product if it's just like a manufacturing community, for example, right?
Yeah, I think it really depends on what your population is, visitors, and what their purpose of stay is, and curating a product for them that really has the right ADR, has the right amenities, and really meets their needs. If you over curate or overbuild or over design for a population that's not going to be able to afford that or pay for that, or isn't frankly interested in that, even if they can afford to do it, then you're not going to be relevant to that customer set.
So how do you inform yourself of the right type of product to put into the particular markets?
So we've done a lot of work in terms of trying to understand the firmographics, psychographics, and everything everybody else does to say, what type of product should we put in this particular area, looking at what is it, a business hub? Are you in the city? Are you in a neighborhood? What type of travelers are coming through? Are we going to have a mix of residential, business travelers and leisure travelers? And what are they looking for? But really trying to look at that area and then looking at what's happening with that area. So in Singapore, we were early in the OUE downtown area. And it was really, a couple of years ago, it was a ghost town. And now it's a vibrant part of the city. And we've had tremendous success with our Premier product in downtown because nothing else was there.
Right. Well, that's really, that's fascinating. So you talk about major change that's happened just in Singapore, but in terms of service apartments, alternative accommodations, extended stay, there seems to be going through a massive sea change in the last few years. What's the most notable change that you've noticed since 3-4 years ago to today?
That's a good question. I think it's all technology. And I don't think that's different than any other industry. They were in here talking, everybody talks about the flattening S-curve of technology. We're in New York City. There's a guy, Tony Seba, who's a innovation, and you can look him up on YouTube. But he has a picture in the year 1900 of the Easter Day parade in New York City, right down Fifth Avenue.
Right.
And he says, can you see the car? It's all horse and buggies.
Right.
1913, 13 years later, he says, can you see a horse and buggy?
Wow.
So I think that we aren't experiencing anything different. It's not only specific to our industry. All industries are going through this massive amount of change. And with it, I think there's disruptors that are doing really unique things that we can all learn from. And I think it's pulling us forward. And I think it's an exciting time to be in the industry. Yep. I talk to some people and they say the good old days. And I say, these are the good old days. There's a lot of new opportunity. But But I think technology is what's doing that. It's no different than anything else anywhere else.
That's really fascinating. And this is the type of thing that we're going to follow up on a more extended podcast so we can get into the nitty gritty of how you're leveraging technology, how you think about technology, and how you think about the diversification of all of your products against the backdrop of an exploding industry. So be sure to check out that podcast. You can find the link on it right below here. So listen to that. And in the meantime, for Chris and me, Glenn, thanks for watching Here to Stay TV, powered by Bridge Street.